On today's Smart 7, Rishi hits the reshuffle button, Israel rejects more calls for ceasefire and lots more. It's Tuesday 14th of November, it's World Diabetes Day and happy birthday, King Charles.
The Smart 7. It's news, but
not the news.
Monday morning saw Rishi Sunak finally spring into action with a dramatic series of cabinet moves in his biggest reshuffle to date. First, he fired Home Secretary Suella Braverman, although Number 10 were keen to point out she was being fired over language used and not for a clash on policy. James Cleverly was drafted in from Foreign Secretary to fill the Home Secretary vacancy and immediately pledged to stop the small boats.
As the Home Secretary, I'm absolutely committed to stopping the boats, but also making sure that everybody in the UK feels safe and secure going about their daily business, knowing that the government is here to protect them.
So far, so predictable. However, in an EastEnders-like moment of drama, David Cameron then appeared on Downing Street and strolled into Number 10. The former PM has been drafted as the new Foreign Secretary, which means he's also been given a seat in the House of Lords. That raises questions about how accountable he'll be to the House of Commons, with Speaker Sir Lindsay Hoyle already asking how this is supposed to work. Cameron also has some ethical questions hanging over him around his role at the failed Greensill capital, but he says he's Team Rishi all the way now.
I hope that 6 years as Prime Minister, 11 years leading the Conservative Party gives me some useful experience and contacts and relationships and knowledge that I can help the Prime Minister to make sure we build partnerships with our friends, we deter our enemies and we keep our country strong. That's why I'm doing the job and I'm delighted to accept.
Rishi kept reshuffling all day on Monday, with Therese Coffey out as Environment Secretary and Steve Barclay losing his Health Secretary job. There were new appointments including Victoria Atkins, Laura Trott and Esther McVeigh, who is intended to be a new Cabinet Office role as the Common Sense Tsar. The GB News presenter's brief appears to be to stamp out wokeness in a move designed to appease the Tory right wing. The opposition parties were unimpressed by Rishi's recycling, and Angela Rayner says it's a sign that the government really has run out of steam.
They've run out of ideas, run out of road, and this is not going to save Rishi Sunak. It's not going to be the change the country needs, and we need a general election, and then people can decide who they want to run the country for them.
But former Defence Committee Chairman Tobias Ellwood says the changes could be just the thing to get the government back on track after disastrous polling.
I'm pleased that Rishi Sunak is starting to craft a cabinet that's going to be able to offer clarity as to what we stand for at the next general election, clarity as to where we go.
Israeli forces continued to battle Hamas around Gaza's largest hospital on Monday. Hundreds remain trapped in the Dar al-Shifa hospital, which has run out of power, water and food, with the World Health Organization describing the situation as dire and perilous. And while Israel's Defense Minister Eli Cohen has acknowledged the growing pressure for a ceasefire, he says that Israel still has a diplomatic window of 2 or 3 weeks. There were more calls for a full ceasefire on Monday, including a plea from the Archbishop of Canterbury, but James Heappey, the UK's Minister of State for the Armed Forces, says that it is still legitimate for Israel to continue with their mission to destroy Hamas.
We have to continue to push the need for humanitarian pauses so that aid can flow in, but what we should not do is call for an outright ceasefire.
The US government is inching closer and closer to a shutdown on Friday as new Speaker of the House Mike Johnson has been unable to get his Republican congressional colleagues to come to an agreement on a budget. That's bad news for Israel and for Ukraine, as with no consensus, funding from the US is running out, which may well leave Ukraine in particular in difficulties as ammunition and aid run low. Ukrainian President Zelensky was warning on Monday that Russia can be expected to launch more attacks on Ukraine's energy infrastructure as winter draws in. Russian President Putin's spokesman Dmitry Peskov says there's no point in the US sending any more aid to Ukraine as it's a lost cause.
It is high time for everyone in Kyiv and Washington to understand that it is impossible to defeat Russia on the battlefield. There is a growing reluctance to continue giving money to Ukraine. This brings additional nervousness to the Kyiv regime.
Still to come on the Smart 7, Bobby Charleton laid to rest and the lineup for I'm a Celeb revealed. Right after this. Welcome back.
Monday saw the funeral of Manchester United and England legend Bobby Charlton. Crowds gathered along the funeral route in Manchester, which travelled past Old Trafford and onto Manchester Cathedral. Mourners included Prince William, former United manager Alex Ferguson, and players including Roy Keane, Paul Scholes and England manager Gareth Southgate. His brother Tommy spoke to BBC Breakfast before the funeral and described how close he was to Bobby.
As a man, Bob was honest, fair, and I've said this before, I could talk to Bob. I'm not an intellectual, but Bob was. And I would love talking to him because he talked common sense.
It seems like Christmas is creeping closer and closer, with the news that I'm a Celebrity Get Me Out of Here is on its way back to our screens. The annual Australian Critter Festival kicks off this Sunday, and Monday night saw the official first trailer drop with the reveal of this year's cast. It's the usual mix of TV wannabes and pop culture has-beens, with a former member of JLS, an ex-Made in Chelsea star, and champion jockey Frankie Dettori. There are a few characters in there who may well cause chaos, including Britney's little sister and Mr Brexit, Nigel Farage.
My name is Jamie Lynn Spears.
Hi guys, I'm Marvin Humes.
My name's Nella Rose.
Hi, I'm Sam Thompson.
I'm Josie Gibson.
Hello, I'm Nick Pickard.
I'm Danielle Harold.
I'm Fred Siriex.
My name's Grace Dunn.
I'm Nigel Farage, and I'm known, of course, for politics, for Brexit, and I'm a hero to some people and an absolute villain to millions.
There's a new rebel alliance in town as Zack Snyder introduces his own take on Star Wars. The Man of Steel and Justice League director is launching his own space opera series with a story that he actually pitched to Star Wars makers Lucasfilm. Rebel Moon is the first part of what could be a long-running series tracing a lone rebel played by Sophia Boutella who takes on the might of the Imperium. It also stars Charlie Hunnam, Anthony Hopkins and many more. It drops on Netflix on December 22nd.
I am a child of war. Find warriors to fight with us.
We might stand a chance.
We're searching for soldiers for a fight against the Mother World.
I could help you. A small fee, obviously.
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes and we'll give you the world.